Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're doing well. In this video, I'm going to be showcasing my own token called CakeMoon. So CakeMoon is a long-term project. I don't want you to think of it as a token. Think of it just as a smart contract that you buy and hold and you earn cake rewards. So it's a unique concept. We've got baby tokens that are constantly launching, and we've also got a Treasury wallet. Now, the Treasury wallet isn't something that I've ever seen. So the Treasury wallet is staking cake, and the yield from that is going to be providing buybacks, which I'll go into and explain how it all works. So it's a unique concept. I have made some errors when I launched this. I called it on my channel. Everyone brought in. I wasn't expecting that many people to buy. However, I didn't articulate the tokens concept very well. Most people just thought it was a normal launch. So I want to make this video again to demonstrate and give everyone a chance if they're interested and everyone's thoughts and feedback on it. So it is the token that will never die. So I've always had an issue with launching reward tokens, which I love. They go great for a few weeks, few months, and then the volume stops and it kills the whole project. People don't get rewards, so they're stuck. Yeah, they're either down on their luck. Even if they don't want to sell, what's the point of holding a token that doesn't give rewards? And it's hard to market a token when it has pumped and dumped, essentially, which I've worked very hard thinking about what could I do. I've tried many things. This is what I've come to on CakeMoon. Is it going to be the next SafeMoon? I don't know, but we're going to see. So I'll explain what happened. So we launched and I called it on my channel and it went to, I think, over 80k. Yeah, I don't know if it was close to 100. Yeah, and what happened was obviously people win a lot of profit in that short time, sells, and then this was kind of the floor it hit, I would say, around here. Two of my friends launched baby tokens, one here and one here, and then the market crashed after that. I think, no, actually, no, this was a sell-off, and the market crashed here, and then we hit the floor. So I've eventually brought the token back. So this was all buybacks off of me. So I think it was yesterday, I decided to, for my own money, buy back and burn. So I burnt a lot of tokens. There was 50%, now there's 63% burnt. And lo and behold, people started buying again, selling again, which has distributed cake. So I'm going to talk about what the concept is using paint. Very professional. So CakeMoon, this is the token. And this is why that is the worst CakeMoon. Maybe I should write it out. So CakeMoon, this is CakeMoon, yeah? And we're going to have baby tokens. So what the baby tokens will be doing, and it won't just be me, a lot of it will be me, and we're going to have baby tokens, yeah? So what the baby tokens are going to do is they're going to pay rewards in CakeMoon. So what it does, essentially, is when someone sells on a baby token, let's call it baby CakeMoon, what will happen is it will go to the CakeMoon contract, it will buy $2, let's say, and it will send it to the holders that sold. So now they become a holder of CakeMoon. So what it does a $2 buy on the chart and it brings it up very slightly. And eventually it will get to the stage where there's a lot of buys and the chart will pump. It will also provide selling opportunity for people that are holding CakeMoon, and also it will provide more LP in terms of liquidity, and it will also provide some people with a very small amount of CakeMoon that they won't be able to sell. So if they get, I don't know, half a cent worth of CakeMoon at this price, they probably won't be able to sell that because of the gas fee on BSC until the price goes up. So essentially they're going to hold the floor, yeah? But they will still earn cake, as in cake rewards, yeah? So the volume and buy and sales will be artificially pumped with baby tokens, yeah? So that's a concept that if it hits the ground, if it hits here, we could launch a baby token, we could do buybacks. Everything is planned out. Now the interesting part of this is this requires work. This isn't passive, this is active, yeah? In the sense that if no one's doing a baby token, there is no volume, extra volume. Obviously we're going to market it like a normal token. Everything will, it will all have the bells and whistles around it, you know, the marketing, the influencers, you know, the paid posts, everything will be around it. But this is the extra concept. Now I can launch degen projects pretty much, at least once a month. So there's always going to be that extra volume. They could span out for a few weeks, depending on that. And I'm hoping each one could probably add, $1,000 to liquidity. And the goal is to grow the liquidity further. Now, the other concept that we have, and this is the one I'm really excited about, is the Treasury. Now, what the Treasury is, there's a wallet here. And I'll just quickly explain. So there's a wallet here, which is 9%. That is actually meant to be 5%, but I've got some tokens that I'm going to be adding to liquidity later on. So if I ever need liquidity tokens or an airdrop or something, that's the liquidity wallet as well. So the 5% will be used as the Treasury wallet. All the other holders obviously get in. Now the good thing is a lot of the holders left. There's only a few major holders holding. And they probably will reap the benefit. It will get to the stage where people will want a lot of the supply and they won't be able to get it. Yeah, because there's 2% left in PancakeSwap. It's going to get really expensive soon unless someone dumps their wallet. Now, the Treasury wallet is a concept that I've seen only on big tokens, but no one's ever staked their cake. So the Treasury wallet at the moment has 110 cake, which is currently staked. Yeah. This is a very, very small amount. This is earning $0.75 dollars per day. Yeah, that will be used as a buyback onto CakeMoon. So it will constantly, every single day, I plan to do a buyback. Now, 75% isn't a lot. Now, in the Treasury also, there's about 8 BNB. Yeah, which I think is around 600 cake or 550 cake. So I may choose to buy 2 or 3 BNB later on, depending on how it goes. However, the baby tokens will provide more cake into the Treasury, and it will also provide more marketing funds as well as liquidity. So essentially, we don't have to do anything, and the Treasury will grow over time. And it will get to the stage where the buy pressure from the Treasury will exceed the sell pressure, and that's when you will get that exponential growth. I mean, you probably would be laughing at this in this stage. So this is why it's a long-term project. It will take a long time to fizzle out all the holders that won't hold, and the ones we want are going to be the ones holding the passive income. Of course, we want people to sell because there won't be any point of the Treasury. It would never fill up. We need holders to buy and sell. It's not a token you're going to be swing trading because the tax is extra high. It's 15 buy, 15 sell. So it's very, very high. I mean, if you buy now, you're going to have to wait to hear to sell to make profit, or even higher. Yeah. So essentially, if it's on a dip, sure, you could probably make profit. But I digress. So just going through this now, 75 cents is very laughable. In fact, it's nothing. But I've activated the Treasury. We've moved to the stage where it's actually going to be, when it gets to the concept of maybe, $5 a day. Probably with that 8 BNB, it will become $5 a day. I think it becomes $6 a day if I buy with the 8 BNB. So $6 a day essentially becomes $180 per day, per month, sorry, which is still very low in the grand scheme of things. But if you look at our liquidity, it's quite low. So we could be adding half a BNB per month. Now that seems even smaller. However, with the concept of it growing and holders being more active, then it becomes 2 or 3 degens will probably add 100 cake. Yeah. And in terms of degens, I say, baby projects. Probably if I launch, it's probably going to be much higher. So the concept of CakeMoon is probably going to either be amazing, or it's going to be something that took too long and nobody held long enough. However, I've designed it in a way that the token will never die. So if it hits this floor, sure, I'll do a buyback, no problem. Or I'll launch a degen project, yeah? And it will be pumping up. Nobody really loses in this concept. If you hold for a few weeks, you're probably going to earn your initials back in cake, yeah? Because there is not a lot of supply out there, yeah? If we look at the holders again, 63% burnt. Yeah, this will eventually go back into the liquidity and circulating supply. bar the 5%. There's only 2.3% in PancakeSwap, so these holders are holding, a good amount of supply. Therefore, they're earning 2% of the sell rewards. So the tokenomics of the whole token is, which is subject to change. We've recently just put it, which is it's 1%, 2% LP, 1% Dev, 8%, or I believe it's 8%. My apologies. Wait, Cake rewards, because I've just recently changed it, and 4% marketing. Yeah, and that's doubled on tax, on the sell tax. So on the sell tax, that's 4, that's 2. I may take the dev tax on. I don't see any point in it, if I'm honest. I may use that as a cake buy-in tool. So I may trade and buy cake. When I say trade, I'll buy the dips on cake and stake it. Now, there are some issues that I've thought about because I want it to be long term. Yeah. Now, the downside of this is it won't just be me launching the baby tokens. Yeah. So obviously this will be 16%. Yeah. I think it's a very, very high amount of cake. So if you're holding, you're going to be shocked at the amount of cake that will be going out. Yeah. And obviously this is 8. So the negatives I saw with this is that if cake's value drops, then our treasury doesn't become as powerful. However, I will be diversifying into other tokens. I may even put some cake into BUSD, for example. Yeah, I will also be looking at staking other tokens. So if it gets to the stage where the cake treasury is pumping out $100 a day, yeah, which isn't too bad. I've done a bit of maths earlier. If I put $40,000 or $50,000 into cake, I think it pumps out $75 to $100 per day, which with that concept you can do a lot with. It becomes a real business rather than an actual just a degen project. It becomes like a real concept, and holding that, yeah, if we end up buying, like other people have done, Bitcoin, it just sets so much value, and then we can go to venture capitalists and get funding later down. Centralized exchanges will be more likely to list you. So it is a long-term project. Again, we don't know how it's going to go. The worst case scenario is nobody sells. Yeah, that's another concept. So nobody sells, which I think we can all agree won't happen. However, if people start to see I'm getting a lot of cake and it's going up the chart, I'm in so much profit, if we can't get the sell volume, it's going to be difficult. Also, we need organic buyers. That will come from the marketing. However, with the high tax, it might put people off. However, we need to communicate, and I need to communicate what CakeMoon is. So I'm making this really long video somewhat to explain it. However, some people will buy in or look at the token and not fully understand what it is. So CakeMoon currently at $30,000 market cap. I said this will be the only project I'll be working on long term, and I said it before. So fingers crossed we can bring CakeMoon much higher. Yeah. My goal for this token, mark my words, is to make some people rich with it. I want $100,000 in liquidity. That's the goal. Yeah. And I want either the market cap at the same level or higher. And I want someone to come to me, which has not happened, and said, I've quit my job because I brought your token, I held it, and now I sold. And now I can quit my job and I'm financially free. That's the goal of it. Yeah. And I want it to be a concept like that. And I always stick to my goals. And so far, I've always hit most of my goals. I wanted to do a token that hit 1 mil. I wanted to do a token that hit 3 mil. I've done it. I wanted to hit 3,000 holders. I've done it. I've wanted to 1,000x a token, 10,000x a token. I've done it. And this concept, probably if it works, will get copied. And please let me know all of your thoughts. I'm open to suggestions. Worst case scenario, if something goes wrong with Cake, like we said, Cake's value keeps dropping or the yield drops off, I can migrate to a different contract and airdrop all the holders and start again. It will just be like we just got off the bus and we got onto another bus. Yeah, so I thought about all the concepts that could go wrong and also the things that can go right. So I hope you enjoyed this video and it served you a bit better in terms of explaining CakeMoon. And if you've got any questions, DM me on Telegram. I'm always open to having a chat.